Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. This is going to be your stock watch list and a little bit of market talk. We'll go through some of the markets and we'll build that stock watch list for tomorrow. This is what got the markets moving down today. Actually, we talked about a lot of Fed speak today. I believe we had four Fed speakers today, and Jerome Powell was speaking. But right here on the SPY, as you can see on this intraday chart, right on this candle is when Fed's Bullard started to speak, basically not going to have interest rate cuts. And then we got Jerome Powell speaking at around 1 o'clock. So right on this candle right here, we got a flash down at around 1:05 p.m. Eastern time. Powell says Fed won't buckle to pressure from Trump on rate cuts. And we flashed down. Market, the dip buyers showed up. They pushed us back up to the green line you see here, which is around VWAP. And then it was a sell off basically for the rest of the day. We were already in a trend down day as it was, but Powell coming in and adding a little bit fuel to the fire here and pushing us further down for the day on those comments. So doesn't look like the Fed is going to be cutting rates 50 basis points anytime soon, and not going to give in to President Trump. So let's see some other things that we had that we need to be aware of. So here's your heat map, right? As you can imagine, red on the day, a lot of pullbacks in the FANG names. We had the Dow Jones down 179, the transports down 87, the S&P minus 28. That's the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq Composite, the tech names, down 120 points for the day. The big names were down. Even Microsoft took a hit today, 3%. Google down almost 3%. Facebook down almost 2%. Amazon down almost 2% on the day. The banks further dropping there. You would think the banks would move up since he's not going to be cutting rates, but even they moved down today. Maybe they'll bounce tomorrow. J&J was up a little bit. Today's a biotech disaster was AbbVie, and they were down 16% on the day. AbbVie is going to be buying out Allergan, AGN. That one popped up. They're going to be buying it out for about $63 billion, and that's about $78 and change for Allergan shareholders. AbbVie, just selling off on that news today. BIIB was up 2% on the day. As far as some of your unusual call activity for the day, courtesy of the trade exchange, you had AMD getting some call activity today. US Steel was a standout today. NWL also had call activity. Crone in the marijuana space, CRON. Unusual options activity on the call side, and Alcoa, MDR also with some call activity on the name. To the put side, HLF. Some of your top gainers, losers for today. PYX popping today. AGN on that buyout up, 25% on the day. OGEN was moving up today. DOVA, DOVA, Riot was up with Bitcoin moving up. Grubhub got an upgrade today. Price target $90. I forget from who, but the Grub, I think it was Citi. But don't quote me on that. Check that. But anyway, Grubhub was up almost 5% on the day. For your top losers, as we mentioned, AbbVie getting hit today. You had BHF down, ACR, CNAT took a hit from last night's news. CETX also selling off 29% on the day on CETX. Some of your economic information coming out courtesy of the trade exchange. We have mortgage applications coming out. You get 8:30 international trade goods. You get the durable goods at 8:30. 10:30 you get the oil numbers coming out. Today we had new home sales come out at 10 o'clock. They missed. on that number. And then consumer confidence was also down. A big miss on consumer confidence today. So that drove the markets down early this morning on those two misses there on those economic numbers. It doesn't look like there's any more Fed speak for the week. The damage has been done. So last week, the FOMC meeting, and they pushed the markets up on what Powell said. And today, Powell drove the markets down. So he giveth and he taketh away. As far as earnings, I'll show you Micron and FedEx. They reported after the bell today. Lennar reported this morning. They were up at first. They beat on earnings, but then in the conference call at 11 o'clock a.m. today, they announced they lowered their guidance, and that drove Lennar down. Micron and FedEx came out after the bell. Tomorrow, before the bell, you have BlackBerry, BB symbol there, General Mills, GIS, Rite Aid, RAD, KB Homes, another home builder, Pier 1 Imports, PIR, will be reporting after the bell on Wednesday. And then Thursday, you have Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA, you could barely see it there. Sorry about that. Conagra, McCormick will be reporting. Nike after the bell on Thursday. Before Friday, Constellation Brands, STZ, and Jinko Solar, JKS. Rena Solar before the bell on Thursday. A small name, SOL symbol there. Let's see what was moving around for today to the downside. You had a pullback in JNUG today. Gold taking a little bit of a pause. TAN, the solar sector was down almost 3% on the day. JNUG was down about 5.5%. KWEB, the China internet stocks, was down about 2.5%. Let's see, what else did we have down? The software space took a hit today, down about 2% in the software. SMH, the semis were down almost 2% on the day. Actually, AMD was showing relative strength on that call activity today. We actually traded AMD in the service today, and we got some gains. Also, NVIDIA moved up over $1 for us today, but then they also pulled back, couldn't hold on to their gains today. The Qs were down 1.75% to the upside. The VIX gained a little bit of steam. Now we have about a 16 handle on the VIX. Not like we're scared or anything right now. Usually, if you get up around that 20 area, then you have to be concerned. Right here in this range is pretty much normal for the VIX. But today it was up about 7% on the day. We actually traded TVIX in the room today, TVIX, as the SPY was moving down. We got a little volatility in the TVIX and TVIX, and we got some nice gains out of that. The OIH was up fractionally for the day. Regional banks were up fractionally for the day. So that's pretty much the day. Here's oil. Moving up today, still below all those moving averages, still below 60 bucks. In the after hours tonight, we had the API numbers come out, so oil is moving up. Well, actually, let's take a look at some of the news that came out after the bell today. By the way, here's some of the comments by Bullard. Inflation running below target. Then we had Fed Reserves Powell. Fed is studying whether uncertainties call for rate cuts. This all courtesy of the trade exchange. And by the way, this news gets all audioed throughout the day. We use this service in my trading service at Zozo StockWatch. So we have audio news throughout the day, and we have a visual on this news also. Let's see. We also had news come out after the bell tonight. VRML, public offering here of common stock on VRML. So that stock moving down. Here's your MU earnings. They beat by 25 cents, and they also beat on revenues, not being affected by Huawei at all at Micron. So here's MU popping in the after hours. Let's see if STX is moving up in sympathy a little bit there, and WDC also in that data storage sector. That one is moving up also. So MU, we'll be watching that one, and we'll be watching some of the other stocks that I just showed you. EYES, researchers present latest positive results. So EYES, EYES had some news after the bell. They were moving this one up on EYES. So nice pop there in after hours. Did kind of give it back though. Maybe one that we'll be watching tomorrow. We'll go through our watch list in a moment. FedEx earnings per share beat by 11 cents, but revenue miss on FedEx. They're kind of right in the thick of it between the United States and China in the trade talks and Huawei. But they did get it up over 157 here in the after hours, coming up off the lows, holding around that 157.50 on FedEx. AVAV earnings per share in line, revenue beat. AVAV. That stock selling off in the after hours. They're guiding lower on AVAV. And I think that's about it. Work, Slack, the new IPO. Bard initiates outperform on WRK. Let's see if there's any reaction to it. Nothing much going on there. Crude oil moved up in the after hours on the API report that came out. It was a drawdown of 7.5 million barrels, so that's pushing USO oil, light sweet crude oil, up in the after hours tonight. So that's pretty much some of your news, courtesy of the Trade Exchange and a part of the service at Zozo StockWatch. Each morning at Zozo StockWatch at about 8:45, we get on the mic and we go through a bunch of stocks. We make our game plan for each and every day. It takes about 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get through everything. And today we talked about BYND, Beyond Beef, for a bounce play. And right here, BYND taking out 142.25, pushed up almost up to $150 here on BYND. So that was one of our trades today. We traded NVIDIA over 154. It moved up to 145. All these alerts are called over the microphone. This is our pre-market session. This PYX, we talked about that. It had an upgrade today. We traded PYX over 16, moved up to about 17 on that name. We were watching AMD. We got a nice trade in AMD. MLNT, we called this one over $6. It didn't trigger for us on that one. Then later on in the session, it did trigger. So overall, a very nice day for us in the room. At the end of the day, we were watching JAGX. We were trading JAGX over 475. It popped up to almost $5 on JAGX. So if you're looking for a very professional room as far as your trading needs, we also are a swing trade service at Zozo StockWatch. Come check us out. We call all our alerts over the microphone. They're all typed in the room. We have news. We share our screen share with you. We show our trade ideas, scanners throughout the day, and I think it's a bargain. Come check us out for $30 for 30 days at zozostockwatch.com. Let's go ahead and get into that watch list. So first one on the list for the watch list, we have ABUS holding up okay today, has that 250 number up ahead. This one will be on watch for tomorrow. See if we can clear that 250 area. Now I didn't talk about the markets too much. Here's the SPY rolling over, taking out that 5 EMA we've been talking about, pulling back below the 10 SMA. Right now, the futures, I'll slide this over. The futures right now are basically flat in the early part of the session. It's about 6:24 Eastern time, my time. So not much going on in the futures right now. So if we continue down, maybe we're headed back down to the 50 SMA here on the SPY. You can see the Qs were running lower today. We talked about about the IWM. We didn't like that action on the video. We talked about it last night in the IWM, and another down day in the IWM, and the IWC also rolling over. All right, back to the watch list. Sorry about that. ACST was popping up. Look at this big expanding volume coming in ACST. Now, I don't like this candle, but we'll keep it on watch for tomorrow to see if it wants to recapture any of this 110 area on ACST. It was moving up. AKS was moving up today, and so we'll keep an eye on this. Letter X over in the steel space had a call activity in the name. It was also moving up. We'll see if there's any kind of follow through in US Steel. If we're going to have a down day tomorrow, we'll be watching TVIX again for trades. We traded this over 1995 for some nice moves up. We caught it here. It popped up. We caught it again here on TVIX. So TVIX was nice to us today. So we'll keep it on watch. Some other things you might want to watch, the SDS. All right, as the market moves down, keep an eye on SDS. It's an inverse. As the markets move down, this will move up. SPXU also will move up as the markets are moving down. And then you have an inverse for the IWM, the TZA. As the IWM sells off, TZA will move up. So keep an eye on this for intraday plays. If the markets are going to continue moving down, keep those inverses on watch. Now back to some other stocks. ATOS, a little bit of expanding volume here on ATOS, holding the 200 SMA, moving up in the after hours. Big move up in this one all day into the close and into the after hours session, moving up a little bit more here. So we'll have it on watch. ATOS, I think I'd like a little bit of a pullback, a red to green move. Disney, looks like they're getting an executive from Netflix to come on over to Disney. But for me, I think Disney needs to get up over this 140.65 area for Disney. That's what it looks like on the daily chart. So I think if we can get back over 140.65 for Disney, you might get a move up. Dova was moving up today, clearing the 50 SMA and holding above all the fast-moving averages. Volume a little bit light, 470,000 shares on Dova. All right, still below the 200 SMA, a declining 200 SMA. We didn't trade this one in the service. It was just kind of light in the volume, so I didn't like it, but it was a steady mover up, so we'll see for tomorrow. EDSA, now here's one that had a big pop up to $13 a share. Now it's just hanging around that 5 EMA and below the 200 SMA on the daily chart here. 200 SMA is at 680. If it can recapture 680, recently did a 1-for-6 reverse split on the 10th of June. So keep this one on watch if they want to turn it back up. It is holding the 5 EMA on that name. Go, recent IPO. For me, it would have to get up over this high here. All right, showed some relative strength today. GO, grocery outlet. So if they on IPOs, if they can take out their highs, sometimes you can get nice moves. Going into the close, it was moving up on this name, so we'll have it on watch. May have some spreads in it. Might have to play that one to the small side as far as share size. Grub got that upgrade today. So, I'm not in love with this candle, kind of indecisive, but volume picking up. It doesn't hurt to have it on a chart for the next few days to see if they want to move Grub back up. It is getting above the major moving averages here, but still below the 200, curling over on the 200. So we'll see. Not a favorite, but I'll have it on watch. HAIR. For the few folks that like the under $1 names, 2 million shares came into this one. Strong close, got up to 61 cents in the after hours. So maybe one to watch for the under $1 crowd. EYES, EYES, spoke about that one, showed you the news. They popped it up, and now it's trading at around 94 cents. Maybe one to keep an eye on EYES tomorrow. Haha. JAGX, we traded this in the service today a few times. If it gets this $5 break on JAGX, you could see a nice move. Recently did a 1 for 70 reverse split back on June 7th, 1 for 70. So if they can turn this one back up over $5, you might get further continuation on this name. LYFT still hanging below that $65 level. Looks a lot better than Uber lately. So LYFT, if they ever get it up over this 65, let's see, we had a high back here of 65.07, so maybe 65.10 will be enough to get LYFT going. As the markets were moving down today, was holding up pretty steady, and a little bit of push here into the close on LYFT. So keep it on watch. MDR, this one had call activity in the name. We tried to trade on this one over 575. I'm sorry, 875. It moved up a little bit, not a lot, but it is had unusual call activity in this name. So keep it on watch. Maybe it wants to make a move up. Oil and gas play. MGI just cannot get going on this name. I think it needs to get back over $2.50 to get interesting. MLNT, this one popped up today, holding above the 5 EMA. If it can get up over 6 and 10, 610 or so, maybe it can make another further move up. Had a nice move up intraday today, pulled back a little bit. It's holding below $6. If it can get up over 610 or so, might be interesting. MOS is kind of coming out of this base here, trying to get up over the 50 SMA. Some other fertilizer names, NTR, big strong move on this NTR. Also, CF has been very strong, so maybe this MOS wants to get started. All right, Deere has been very strong in the farm and equipment space. So once again, maybe MOS is kind of a laggard here. Maybe it wants to make a move, which makes me want to look at IPI, by the way. That one just kind of still in consolidation mode, not much going on there. So keep your eye on Mosaic here to see if it wants to play catch up. Some volume was coming in today on Mosaic, so keep it on watch. NDRA, back to a smaller name, just under 1 million shares traded in it. You had a high here today of 211, so keep it on watch. Let's see if it was doing anything in the after hours. No, got up to about 210, 211. So if it can clear that, or maybe we get an intraday setup on that. OBLN, that one popping up a little bit today. 8 million shares on this name. It's an under $1 name, so if you like these under $1 names, was heating up a little bit. Keep an eye on it, maybe over 90 cents or so on that one. OGEN, another one that's under $1, was getting a 5 million share volume, trying to come out of this consolidation. It's a beaten down name, maybe trying to turn the corner tomorrow. PYX got upgraded today. The big volume, 3.4 million. So keep an eye on this one, PYX in the cannabis space. Looks right now like it would have to get up at least over 1750 to get going. So keep an eye on it. PYX. Another one, RTTR, was hitting my scanner into the close here today. It's about at $1.10, 1.5 million. So this one also kind of a lot of fits and starts in this name, but this candle holding most of the gains on the close here, so maybe worth a chart for tomorrow. TVIX we spoke about already. Volatility, we'll be watching this and those other inverses that I talked. WKHS also trying to clear this 0.80 area slowly. All right, 3.7 million. Now we have 290, $3 in the way. So if you can ever get through $3 on WKHS, but then even with that, you still have a 325, 327 up here. So keep an eye on it. And then lastly, letter X, which I spoke about already. Maybe this one wants to make a move. If it could take out that $15 area on letter X. Now it's going to depend on, we don't just buy the stocks at these prices that I give you. We're looking at them intraday. It's going to depend on what the market is doing tomorrow, and then we'll see what hits our scanners. Also, we'll be looking for news plays for tomorrow, and those come from the trade exchange. And if this video has helped you out, please hit the like button. All right, that's all we ask. Just hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Help this channel to grow, but mainly hit that like button for me. Let me know you're out there. Leave some comments of some stocks you're watching down below. We'll try to fit them in tomorrow's video. Have a great night, everybody. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. Come check us out. $30 for 30 days at Zozo Stockwatch for 1 month. Have a great night. Good day trading tomorrow.